Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Matt Bills, and today I want to show you what's in my 2025 camera bag. But first, I want to say a big thank you to over 700 subscribers. That might be a small number to many, but it's a pretty big number to me, and it's pretty cool. I didn't really have any goals for this channel other than to share information and to have a dialogue with my fellow creative people out there. So each time I see the subscriber count increase, I know the channel is reaching more and more people, and that makes me happy. So 700 subscribers or 7 million, I'm just going to keep on posting. So yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you. So what do I keep in my camera bag? Well, when I decided to make this video, I wanted to only stick to the gear I actually use on a regular basis. I don't want this to be, a look at all of the gear I own video, but never actually use. So everything I show you in this video gets used multiple times per week, if not multiple times per day. Oh, and this is not a technical review of anything. I'm sure I'll do a technical video on some of the gear at some point, maybe, but for now, it's just what's in my bag. Also, I'm going to put the name of the gear and the current retail price of each item on the screen for awareness so that you don't have to go and dig for that information. So let's start with the bag itself. Yes, I proudly fly the pirate flag. It's a Peter McKinnon bag, the second one I've owned since he started releasing his own line of bags. Compartments and functionality aside, which are all great, it's just a super, super durable bag. I've taken this thing around the world, and it's been in every possible climate, and I couldn't be more pleased with the product. For a hard case, you can't really go wrong with the Pelican. Some jobs require more gear that can fit in the Peter McKinnon bag, so the Pelican comes in handy. Plus, it's a roller case, so that's super convenient. All right, so camera bodies. There are 3 in my regular rotation. It's not uncommon at all for me to have 2 to 3 real estate shoots the first half of the day and then sports or something similar in the evening. So I really do use all 3 of these daily. First, the Canon R1. I've had this one for about 2 months now, and really it's everything I hoped it would be. I am extremely pleased. The quality, the performance, it just performs on a level that I really would expect from Canon's flagship. So next, the tried and true Canon 1DX Mark III. I actually have 2 of these, but now that I have the R1, the 1DX is my second body when a shoot calls for having more than one. When I'm shooting with 2 bodies, I usually have the 70-200 or 135 prime on one, and then a 16-35 or a 24-70 on the other. Then we have the 5D Mark IV, which was my first full frame camera. I've had it for, longer than I can really remember. I think it came out in 2016, and I would have picked it up maybe 2 years after that, but it does exactly what I need it to do. I use it exclusively for real estate photography, and the 16-35 millimeter from Canon pretty much lives on this camera. Could I use the 1DX or the R1 to do real estate photos? Yeah, sure. But, I've built an entire business with very happy clients using the 5D Mark IV, so I see no reason to change that at the moment. I also do a lot of video work, and for most video shoots, I use the Canon C70. I love the look of the Super 35 sensor and the internal ND filters. Probably my favorite thing ever, not having to mess with external NDs on a shoot when there are, varying lighting conditions. It really, really makes my life a lot easier. And I guess I can include this next one in the camera body section. It's the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's actually pretty insane how much is packed into this little camera. I know a cinema rig might look more impressive, and I don't think that this is a replacement for a true cinema rig by any means, but the capabilities of this thing, it definitely keeps it in the rotation. Not only is it great for vlogging and shooting, B-roll, but I use it mainly when shooting real estate videos. And with the creator combo, with the DJI wireless mics, it really performs flawlessly. And for the price, it's tough to beat. On to the lenses. So I have a pretty good collection of lenses. I go back and forth between zooms and primes and could never really decide which I like more. So instead of deciding, I just end up using them all. Let's start with the Canon EF 85mm 1.4. I know this has been highly regarded as one of the best portrait lenses ever made, and I do agree with that. But I have actually found it to be really awesome for sports. Gym lighting can often be absolute garbage, so that 1.4 comes in handy. Also, the way it obliterates the background makes me very, very happy. Moving on to the Canon RF 135mm f1.8. Not a whole lot to say about this one that differs from the 85. I got the 135 just to give me a bit more reach when shooting with a prime, and so far, so good. Next up is the Sigma 24-70 f2.8. This is one of those focal lengths that I think every photographer should have in their bag, regardless of what brand they use. When I'm shooting sports or corporate events where I know people are going to want group shots, or there's a moment where I really just need a bit more elbow room, this is my go-to. This lens is also great when paired with the C70 for video. Then we have the Canon 16-35mm. I think this was actually my first Canon L series lens. So I've had it for quite some time, and it's pretty beat up, but it still works flawlessly. And like I mentioned earlier, this pretty much lives on my 5D Mark IV, and I use it primarily for all things real estate. Then we have the Canon 70-200 f2.8. Similar to the 24-70, this is another focal range that I think we should all have in the rotation. I have both the Mark II and the Mark III, but I honestly can't really tell the difference in terms of performance. This thing has been used on every type of shoot that you can imagine. Honestly, one body with a 24-70 and another one with a 70-200, and you can pretty much take over the world. In the last year or so, I've started to get more into cinema lenses, and the first one I picked up is the DZO Film 50mm. I really wanted to get more comfortable shooting manually, so that lens definitely helps me in developing that skill, and I've been really happy with the results so far. In fact, most of these close-up shots of the gear have been filmed on that lens. All right, the last lens, but certainly not least, is the Sigma 60-600. Being able to get to 600 millimeters without having to spend thousands of dollars on, a prime or higher end telephoto is pretty great. I use this almost exclusively for outdoor daytime sports and wildlife. It's just really great not having to worry about kind of where I'm sitting, because I know I'll be able to get that close-up shot that I need, because this thing, it's a beast. It really is. And of course, as someone who shoots a lot of real estate almost every single day, I have to mention my drone, the DJI Mavic 3 Classic. I've had my Part 107 for longer than I can remember, and at this point, I've gone through a number of drones over the years. In fact, there's one sitting at the bottom of the ocean in St. Martin, if anyone happens to be down there. Anyway, it's great. Never lets me down. The color grading experience in D-Log is always great. And yeah, I love my drone. It's awesome. All right, so that's what's in my 2025 camera bag. As most of us in this field can appreciate, the lineup of gear is always changing, so I'm sure my camera bag will look very different next year, if not in a month. Who knows? I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for taking the time to check it out. I would love to hear from you, so your feedback, your comments are always welcome, and if you're not too busy, feel free to subscribe. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.